Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Top Employers podcast series. I am Karen Miller, Client Success Advisor at the Top Employers Institute. Joining me today is Ilani Kruger, who's the Group Chief People Officer or Human Resources Officer at the Tsebo Solutions Group. Ilani is not only a key member of the executive team, but also has a robust and various experiences in different areas within HR, from change management, OD, right through to IR and strategic human resources. Ilani, over to you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
I think I'd love to tell you a bit about Tsebo, just to
Okay.
set the scene.
Yeah, we can do
So,
that.
Tsebo is the integrated workplace management company, and we provide services, actually over 80 specialized services in facility management, remote camp management, cleaning, catering, hygiene pest control services, as well as security services. We have over 32,000 employees in more than 25 countries. And our slogan is we create workplaces that actually work for you. And that's for me, it's got two components to it. The one is a workplace for our customers and also the workplace experience for our own employees. So it's very important for us to create workplaces where employees and our customers' employees can thrive, excel, and really feel safe. And obviously, in terms of that, it goes back to our purpose statement. We develop people to serve people to uplift society.
Okay, great. So let's dive into that a little bit and let's see how you have changed or how you have upskilled certain of your employees to be able, especially your frontline employees, to be able to be part of this employee engagement or the employee experience. Maybe taking a step back, just for everyone to know, is that we did some research. We've also, in our World of Work Trends report, as well as our blue collar white paper that we've just released, we have been mentioning that because of technology, that we have seen that there's a change within the blue collar employee field. We're now calling it, or now it's going to be start. Now we're going to start calling it the new collar employee experience. So, Ilani, just take us through a little bit of how would you define this change? How does that link to what your employees are doing? How do they experience being a frontline employee within Tsebo? What have you done to, sort of create that environment where they feel that they are not only protected, but that they are part of this bigger group? Because we know that blue collar employees or frontline employees sometimes feel left out of this whole process.
Corinne, it's a very exciting journey that we are on. I think everything started around the COVID time in terms of fueling our rapid investment in digitization, looking at whatever we can automate. And then we know that AI and all the tools and technology has had a life of its own and the way that it's developed. At the moment, I can share with you in terms of our journey, just to take one step back, is that more than 2,000 employees already are actively having access to AI tools. And we've identified native AI tools that is available in several of our digital platforms. Um, I think the important thing in terms of this whole journey is that we want everybody to basically have AI in their pocket, everybody, including the frontline employees, and we believe we can do it. So we have created AI Steercom, which I'm part of, and really active in driving digitization and AI adoption in the business. It's being spearheaded by our CEO, Dr. Chris Jardine. So it's wonderful to have the leadership, commitment, and engagement. We've got about 8 communities of practice, um, And in the communities of practice, it could be HR, it could be finance, legal, sales, um, etc., and operations. And we're looking at how can we use AI and digitization to make things smarter, quicker, better. Um, so let me go back to your initial question. So if you look at AI specifically and our frontline employees, um, we're very excited that we adapt technology and we make them part of that journey in terms of technology. So, one way we're doing it, for example, at the hospitals, you won't find that our cleaners will have these lists behind the
The
door
little
to say,
tick
I've
lists.
signed it today,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
actually, I can guarantee that at this time, I actually cleaned your bathroom,
Yeah.
etc. We actually empower our employees with QR codes
Mm-hmm.
to scan when they um, go and do their normal cleaning routine. And when they are done, we actually use the satisfaction scores of visitors to that specific section or hospital. And we create dashboards so that a supervisor, but also the client, can monitor effectiveness and efficiency at that specific hospital or site or
Yeah. Yeah.
wherever
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
are,
Mhm.
so that they can see the impact of that. And they can have real-time feedback in terms of how long does it take since a complaint has been lodged. So please clean the bathroom until the time that it happens. And we can set the parameters for each and every site would be different. A hospital, you want maybe a 2 minute turnaround time, but maybe in a different factory context, etc., maybe a 5 minute turnaround time would be better. And we set those parameters with the clients, but then we also make our employees part of that journey and we show them what the implications is thereof. So that's just one example where we've actually taken our frontline employees, we've given them the tools to make their work a bit smarter and help them to be more efficient and effective.
Okay.
Also, we can recognize people
Yeah.
in terms of
Definitely.
productivity
Yeah.
and how they've actually done that. And you can see where your little culprits are in terms of that bathroom is always dirty, or you can say, um, actually, in in that area, because there's a high traffic,
Yeah.
etc., we can actually monitor that and see that we have high
And
traffic.
reward accordingly. Right.
Yes, but what's also interesting in our security domain, they use AI and technology to actually do risk aversion. So we can actually identify risks, even, for example, with in retail or even at ATMs in banks. Where outside we will have facial recognition. We look at consumer patterns. We can identify if there's a possible suspect at an ATM who's loitering too long. Even in your retail setups, etc. All of that information can help the guy not only to mitigate the risk, but also look at customer satisfaction. We can even identify if people are happy when they come in, unhappy when they leave, or grumpy. So you've got different measures of
Yeah.
satisfaction, and you relay that back to your employees as well to make them part of that journey so that they feel I've made a difference
Okay.
in terms
Yeah.
of my contribution today.
Yeah, because our research has also shown that 55% of the frontline employees say that it's way more important for them to be part to have a paycheck than to be part of the value. So how do we relate them being part of a company? How do we make them feel that they are valuable within that company? And that relates directly to the engagement then as well, right? So how have you, because this is a large amount of employees that you now have trained, have you gone through certain training with them? Have you sort of, is there a sort of a way that you have taken them from completing a spreadsheet into where they are now using certain technology as well as tools? How did you go about doing that?
So at Cebu, we understand the importance of paycheck.
Okay,
Therefore,
good.
we are proud to say we've got more than a 98% payroll accuracy every month in paying all our employees.
Nice. Well done.
So that is important, and compliance and making sure, especially since our frontline employees are predominantly part of bargaining councils or
Yeah,
statutory bodies, etc.
yeah.
So first of all, people must be able to trust. So often, if you want to create that purpose and sense of belonging. Engagement is very important. And it's very important for people. Engagement in that sense is more for people to understand that there's consistency and trust, and
Okay.
people can trust
Yes.
you. So, in our employee engagement survey, where we had more than 23,000 employees across the continent that responded. They, and that's about 74%, um, they gave us more than 80% gave us a real positive sentiment in terms of how they're experiencing the business. And then the trust in leadership was also more than 84%. So it just shows that employees identify with the organization and they identify with their role in the organization. So the one component of your question is um, what have we done in terms of the engagement piece? And I think the important thing is we listen to our employees. And we are going to have our um, biannual survey. The launch is imminent now on the 2nd of September. And our aim is again to hear as much as we can from our employees, to deeply listen and to make sure that we address specific issues and concern that they have. Our employees believe that they're part of a solution for the future of the countries where they operate. So, for example, in South Africa, our employees feel that they make South Africa thrive. And it's that purpose that you need to capture. When you recruit people into your business, you must make sure that they identify with your values. And we have developed tools where we identify the appropriate behaviors that would differentiate someone that will work in in our environment who would actually embrace that ethos of we develop people to serve people to uplift society, because we serve people and we make a difference. Think about it. If you are a caterer, a cook, you are actually not only cooking or serving, you are nourishing
Nourishing. Yeah,
a school child.
yeah,
If if
yeah.
we are on that side, or you are nourishing a minor
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you are in security, you're actually protecting children, or you're protecting
A
um,
customer or a client.
customer or client,
Mm.
etc. And if you're a cleaner, you are contributing to safeguarding and the health and safety of people in hospitals in terms of our patients. So that sense of purpose is created, and that's a golden thread. Whoever you speak to, and if you look at our CSAT scores, and even in the hospitals where people rate them, and the patients rate them, and visitors rate our people, they are very complimentary in terms of the kindness, the compassion, the friendliness of our employees.
Yeah,
So that to me is critical.
yeah,
Your second part of your question related to, so what do we do in terms of training our employees, etc. So we have heavily invested in terms of our learner management system. And I'm so excited to tell you that it's our frontline employees that are actually using our learner
oh my
management
word.
system.
And
We actually had a little competition
yeah,
in the business,
yeah.
and the top three that actually
are using the
are
system.
using the system and who scored the most points in terms of gamification and number of courses, etc., were all cleaners.
Oh my.
And
How
what we've
amazing.
also found, and that shows you the accessibility,
Yes.
is that people normally between 12 o'clock at night, midnight,
Mm-hmm.
and 8 o'clock in the morning, and then again between 5 o'clock in the afternoon and 11 o'clock at night, those are our peak periods for adoption.
Oh my goodness. So they are busy studying while
They are
in those.
busy studying and they are accessing um, internet. So people told us in the beginning it won't work. Um, it won't work. They need data. There's a problem in terms of that, etc. Um, it's not true. Everybody's got a smartphone.
Yeah, that's
And
what I wanted
yes,
to ask. How do they
yes,
access that? How do you make that available
yeah,
to them?
with smartphones, and we try to um, sit down with our clients and we say to them, can we please, for this specific domain, because we've got an app, can we please allow our employees to make use of the data that's available? Because some of the learning is not only career development, it's also service excellence. It helps to improve and enhance the service delivery on that specific site. But Karen, there's something very exciting that we started as well in the last couple of months, and that is in our remote areas. So,
Okay.
for example, in KZN,
Yeah.
I think it's Hibiscus, Port Shepstone, Ishowe, etc. We've actually now for government hospitals, we've rolled out tablets that's available at the hospital. They link to our data, and then we educate them in terms of how to use a tablet and how to use that specific to access the learner management system, and then it's self-paced, and you can in your own time make use of the learner management system. And as I said, there's more than 350 modules available. And on frontline staff only, we've had more than 6,500 course completions already in the past year,
Mm.
which I think is
Yeah, no,
phenomenal.
it's absolutely
Yeah.
incredible. Well done. So what we are saying is that Tsebo Solutions Group is really on the front line when it comes to changing the way that we think, how blue collar employees are now moving into that new collar area. And thank you so much for sharing your information. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to start reaching out to try and understand how you've done this, because it's really incredible. I've been in very high blue collar environments, and I have not ever seen this. So thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for also taking us through the journey of how this sort of improves your frontline employees' experience as well.
That's a pleasure, Corin. I want to add one thing, if I
Yes.
may.
Yeah.
So, our CEO is really a visionary.
Yes, he is.
And on the AI front, we're saying that with WhatsApp, and we use WhatsApp a lot for communication, groups, etc., is we've got everybody's got AI now on WhatsApp with them making that available. So we are building a platform or model or whatever you want to call it, um, to actually train our employees with practical prompts that will enable them to have a better life and actually use that in their day-to-day lives to enhance their quality of life.
Yeah, it is absolutely incredible. It also makes more sense now why we are doing another best practice and a case study with you as a team, and also including you in the augmented leadership, AI augmented leadership white paper. So thank you so much for providing us with this information.